My name is Shreya and I'm 8 years old and I'm in second grade. I'm very excited about the interview that we're going to have today.
My name is Trisha. I'm 10 years old and I'm in Rising Middle School.
My name is Hansita. I'm a 6th grader and I'm 12 years old and I'm super excited to learn about maths.
My name is Arsh. I'm a 9th grader and I'm super excited to learn from both of you.
My name is Sharia. I am a 10th grader and I'm very excited to learn how Dr. Bal and Brij Agarwal got here today. We're part of Doc and C, which is dedicated to our community of North Carolina, and we frequently do projects in our area to try and make our community the best it can be.
We are honored today to interview renowned doctors, Dr. Brij and Dr. Bal Agarwal, as part of the Doc and C Legacy Project.
So, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you came from, the part of India and stuff?
My name is Bal Agarwal. I'm 81 years old. I come from a small city in the state of Rajasthan, Bikaner. I was born in 1941 and came to this country in 1970.
I am Brij Agarwal and I was born in Rajasthan, it's Jaipur, and raised there, and I came with him 70 and I'm still here.
Yeah, Jaipur. I've been to Jaipur many times, so I love the city.
Yeah, Jaipur was good. Both were.
As a child, how was life going back home?
As a child, back in India was wonderful. We played in the dirt when I was a kid with all the boys and the girls, the street. And in the house when we grew up, we played in the house because we were not allowed to go in the street because girls are not supposed to be in the street. So then we played the hide and seek in the house, and we lived in a joint family. My cousins were there, it was a big family, so we used to play in the house. So it was a wonderful childhood.
I come from a very large family. 5 brothers, 4 sisters, 2 aunts, 2 mamas, uncles. So it was like a big group of people. And we didn't have all these facilities. I was very studious. I will spend all my time in study. As soon as we finish, I will go and help my dad in his business.
Did either of you have any siblings?
I have 4 brothers, 2 elder sisters, 2 younger sisters.
Oh, I have 2 sisters. Yeah, that's a small family. They are younger to me, and one of them is a doctor, and one of them lives here.
So, how did your parents teach you manners or like respectful behavior?
Yes, my father was very strict. So he managed me to all the elders, because we live in a joint family, so we have to respect everybody in the family. Cannot answer them back. And cannot raise your voice. So, and I have cousins, a lot of cousins, because we live in a joint family. So, big family, lot of like about 10, 12 cousins.
My childhood was very eventful. We were 5 brothers, 4 sisters, limited resources. So starting in the morning, we'll have to share towels. So there were only 2 towels. So one of us will take a shower, come up, dry it, the other will go, and that's how the whole thing went in. My schooling was very good. I went to a public school up to 10th grade, again in the same town, Bikaner. There were only 2 high schools in the whole town. The population of Bikaner, where I was born, at that time was approximately 0.1 million, 0.1.5 million. Of course, today it is like 0.8 million. My father, I didn't have any uncles except my maternal uncles, but they didn't add too much to my education and or mannerism. But my father always told me, you have to become a doctor. Somehow he came to know that there is going to be 2nd medical school in Bikaner. There was only 1 medical school in Jaipur. So all the time he will tell me, you have to study and go to medical school. They were very strict. You could not raise your voice. What to say of voice? If they come in the room, you better stand up. If you are sitting or lying, it is not tolerable. But overall, it was a very pleasant growing up with 4 brothers and a lot of friends. Whenever I got a chance, I will, skip and play with those. And if my father came to know, right away I will get some punishment.
Did you have any extracurriculars or hobbies?
No, beta, I didn't have much hobbies because you were going in the limited circumstances. So you just study or you play with whatever is available to you. That's all we did. There was no place to gardening or no place of, because you have to have if you play something, then you have to buy the gadgets, and we didn't have the facilities to buy the gadgets. Like ball, you have to buy the ball. Badminton, for the ladies, you cannot play badminton because you have to buy the shuttle, and that's expensive for me. So, and bat is also expensive. So the limited resources, you play the jump rope, whatever available in the house or in the school. So no hobbies that time. Study or talking to the friends.
What about you, Uncle?
I wanted to play, but again, because of the limited resources, I remember very vaguely I would like to play soccer, but for an entire school consisting of about 600-700 boys, it was a boys' school, there was only one ball, and that was also broken half of the time. The guy, I don't have a pump to inflate the ball, I don't have this, that, but I did try. I did try to play soccer. When I was in college, I did make attempts to play basketball, tennis, but I couldn't afford the price of the bats and other things. Other than that, my hobby was reading and reading. I would say it is a on-job training, i.e. you learn by yourself or by looking at, because I was the eldest, so I was kind of not getting any training, nobody teaching me anything except that you have to study, work hard, that's it. That's the only, life we had as a child. What about you?
Cooking was you'd watch your mothers and aunts, and I didn't have to work in the kitchen mostly when I was studying, but the times comes that your mom is sick or something, you have to cook something. So whatever you learn to cook, there was no particular training for me, but whatever you learn from your mom, you watch your mom, because your mom is doing cleaning. We have to clean our room, the place we sleep, you have to clean before you get up. You make your bed, took it away, and so these are the basic things that you learn from watching everybody in the family. You are not given any skills or anything. That you watch your family, what are they doing, and you do it. So that's how I learned it. But I was not cooking as a full meal for anybody. Before marriage, there's no full cooking. So you cook whatever you like. Like as a teenager, I read something and I want to cook. My mom will help me and I will help her. So you put the recipe. But there is nothing like you are trained for the things. You watch the family and learn the things.
Yeah. So in addition to that, it was a little interesting, we were probably 15 or 16 people in the family, so there was no bedroom. So you have a big mattress, you spread the sheets, whosoever comes first gets the place to sleep. It is his choice. So whoever comes late, he has to use the remaining space. It was interesting, but the morning we get up, we take off the sheets, we fold the mattress, pack up, that becomes our living room, and that is how we were raised up to high school.
That must have been a very interesting nap.
It was.
You learn to share.
Yeah, yes. So, what was the best advice that maybe someone gave you when you were a kid or when you were a teenager that has stuck with you up till this point?
Okay, for me it was I was exposed to a doctor who was doing a volunteer work. I was, I think, 8th grade or something. And he said, become a doctor, but don't become the doctor for the money. And that stayed with me. So even now, he said, work for helping the people, but don't work for money.
So, looking back, what was your wisdom from the experiences of your parents?
What can I say? That I just supposed to study and respect the elders and become a doctor. That was my main aim. That's my father wanted. So that's what I did, beta.
What about you, Uncle?
My father all the time insisted you have to study and go to medical school. Somehow that feeling that yes, I should fulfill his desire was there, but I was not very much interested in becoming a doctor. So after my undergraduate, of course it was always with the first class, I went to him and I said, I want to become an engineer. He said, no, you cannot become engineer. You have to go to medical school. I said, well, but I want to become an engineer. He said, well, then stop the study, come and work here. Or do anything else, but I cannot send you to an engineering college because it's very expensive and there was no engineering college in the town where I was raised. So my wisdom was, you better follow your parents because they were the one who are going to provide you the money and the facilities. Very interesting. So after my undergraduate, my father thought that there will be a medical school this year and I will be able to go to medical school in my hometown. However, there was no medical school that year. So my father said, well, I can't send you to Jaipur. That was the only medical school in whole state of Rajasthan. You can go to veterinary college. We did have a veterinary college so I applied for veterinary college. And the people there were surprised why this boy wants to become a veterinary doctor. So everybody else in the neighborhood, my father, an advisor, everybody told him, you better send him to Jaipur. He will become a doctor 1 year earlier and that will be best. Bikaner Medical College will be a new medical school. On the other hand, Jaipur College was started in 1947 and I'm talking of 1958, so it was 11-year-old, well established. Somehow my father accepted advice from the others and said, okay, you can go to Jaipur and enter the medical school.
Major historical events that you remember that happened while you were a kid, that you remember watching on the news or hearing about through people. Was there anything you remember?
I remember as a kid, country became free in 1947, but I was 6-year-old. Don't remember much about that, but I do remember when there was a India-Pakistan war, periodically there will be, alarm, all of you should hide and bomb is being blasted and put in there. However, we never saw any real incidents. So that's one thing that stuck to me. The other thing which stuck to me is Bikaner was a part of Rajasthan. However, prior to 1947, there were small states and they were governed by king. So I still remember as a child when the king of Bikaner, named Ganga Singh, Ganga, will come on the street, he will come on an elephant, there will be horses in the front, horses in the back, and everybody in the town will bow down to him and say, oh, bless us, bless us. And I could not understand why this guy is so powerful, but that was the trend. And that stuck to me even now. Of course, Ganga Singh was a very good king because he visited London or England many times, and every time he came back, he came up with an idea. So even in early 40s or late 40s and early 50s, Bikaner had a hospital which was declared as one of the best hospital in not India but in Rajasthan. It was a very nice, and there were two English doctors. I still remember that. There was a Dr. Holly Caesar, he was from England, there was another one. So I was so impressed. But as I told you earlier, after my intermediate or undergraduation, somehow I was still interested to become an engineer. However, circumstances did not allow. And I'm glad retrospectively that I went to Jaipur and finished my MBBS and subsequently MD in 1966.
Wow, the king sounds very
Interesting.
yeah, interesting. What about you, Auntie? Do you remember anything?
Not much, but I cannot tell you too much because only thing I remember when I was in medical school, there was India-Pakistan war, and then you have to hide. You are studying in the books and the alarm goes and the lights are off. So you sit down in the underneath,
Wow.
and that's the only thing major I remember. Not much.
Did anyone inspire you to become what you are today?
My father was the main source. He made me doctor, and then he inspired me to work hard. And my mother was the hard working behind him, so she was like honest person, and she made me the person I am today. So it's my father.
What about you, Uncle?
As I told, I was very much impressed by several physicians, but the physician under whom I did my master's degree, which is MD, was the best person, and he always encouraged me. You know, few things which I remember while making a round with medical students. He will ask a question and say, anybody can answer except Agarwal. Why? Because I was working with him, I knew the answer. Because any question he will ask, it has been already asked earlier. So I was excluded from the answering. However, several other physicians participated, and I would like to add a little bit spice. After MBBS, which is the basic MD degree in India, I came back to my hometown, and my father said, that's it, you finish your studies, now go ahead and serve the people and join the government of Rajasthan and work for them. I said, but I want to do post-graduation, and only few toppers will get a chance to become postgraduate students, and I was one of them. My father insisted, no more money for you. I said, look, during my MD, I will not ask any money, and you people will be surprised. My salary was 50 rupees per month, which is equivalent to like $50. So in 50 rupees, I carried over, subsequently became $100 and $150. In my final year of MD, I was granted a scholarship from the government of India, so I didn't have to work. See, during this you have to work and study. But then last year of my MD, because of this 200 rupees per month scholarship from the government of India, I was able to just focus on my studies and was able to get my MD in first attempt.
So, what traditions are still being followed in the Philippines?
Every Indian tradition. We are Indians, have been in this country for 52 years, and you all will be surprised. We are pure vegetarians, i.e. no meat, no fish, no egg. My wife even doesn't eat onion and garlic. We do not get any of these things in our house. So when our children were growing up, in part of the community. They will insist, they will like to eat. So my wife gave them a pot, and outside the house put a stove for cooking. So if you have to cook there, clean it and put it there and use that same pot every time. My children were vegetarian while they were with us. Subsequently, when they went to further studies, both of them are non-vegetarian. They eat everything. And my grandchildren, when they come here for a couple of days, they will say vegetarian. We will cook, and then third or fourth day, one of them will say, when are we going to get the real food? What do you mean the real food? The meat. So we'll take them to a restaurant where they can have some hamburger or whatever, chicken. But both of us have never eaten any meat. We do not drink any alcohol. And as I said, pure vegetarian. We follow most of the Indian traditions.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian too, so my parents are like, no, nothing.
Did you have any good friends who stuck with you for a long time?
What is the question?
Do you have friends who stuck with you a long time?
Oh yeah, sure. Very interesting. That time there was only one medical school in whole Rajasthan. Only 80 students will be admitted out of thousands of people who took their exams. So the first 80 who are in that list will be admitted. So out of those 80s, at present there may be only 40 or 50 left. Others have expired. One of the students who stuck with me from medical school first year, after our MBBS, he went to England to do his FRCS, and I of course did my MD and then serviced the government. Subsequently, he also came to US, and we will talk every week. Remember all our past, memory lane, how we were. Of course, 2-3 years ago, he also died. So he was the only one from day one when we entered the medical school. I will remember, talk to him, and I miss him nowadays.
Oh, I had lots of friends. I was full of friends from the very beginning. But I remember 2 friends of my high school, they still call me. So I talk to them. And medical school, one friend was very close to me that we used to share the room and we studied together. So she calls me, she's in India. And then other friends, I call them once in a while. But these are the 3 people that I'm in constant, 2 from high school, 1 from the medical school, and rest of my
So
friends
see,
are
like
here.
me, have a lot of friends, a lot of people call, a lot of people visit. One of our fast friends, she was talking about, came to US and stayed with us. And she's just opposite of me. Because I will pay attention to only one thing. Study, 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 so that you are in higher level in your class. So not much time to socialize.
What is your area of expertise?
I was a pediatrician, children's doctor, and that's what I did. Practice for 21 years, then I retired and taking care of him.
How about you?
I was an interventional cardiologist, practiced for 31 years in Maryland, and then for 8 years in Asheville, and 2 years in Nellis Air Force Hospital in Las Vegas. At that time, I thought that I have done enough. 40 years of practice, I retired. Subsequently, here, I'm still working once a week, every Friday for 3-4 hours in people's medical care as a volunteer. And I see complicated patients who come from India. Majority of my patients are parents visiting here, running into an acute problem or running out of medicines, and I really enjoy that. I will keep seeing patients till my last breath if it is possible, because that is what I love. I love my profession I love cardiology, but I cannot practice cardiology because in order to do practice you have to be attached to a hospital, malpractice insurance, office overhead, staff, and it's not possible and it is not necessary. I really enjoy seeing patients in people's medical care, and I give my best. I have always given my best to every patient I have taken care. In Maryland, I must have performed several thousands cardiac catheterization, angioplasties. In VA hospital in Asheville, I was quote unquote chief of cardiac cath lab. However, there were only 2 doctors. So you get, one of them is chief and the other one is, and I used to do nothing but cardiac cath and angioplasty. On an average, 4 to 5 procedures every day.
So which medical college did you guys attend?
Well, I went to Savai Mansingh Medical College, Jaipur, which is abbreviated as SMS Medical College. Jaipur started in 1947 and one of the known institutions in the medical field.
What about you?
Same medical college I went. I was junior, 3 years junior to him, and finished from there. And then after finishing, then I did my little bit, started with, that's interesting, because I wanted to become a pediatrician, and then I started in pediatrics there, and then I got married. When I got married, my mother-in-law said, if you have to stay away from house, then why did you get married? So I have to change my specialty, and I became the pathologist, which was, you don't see any patient, you see the specimens of the urine and the stools on the section. Then I came here, then the choice made what you want to do. I don't want to become a pathologist, I want to become a pediatrician. So that's what we started. And I became a pediatrician, that's all.
She fulfilled her desire after coming here. In India, circumstances did not allow her to continue pediatric training because I was posted in Bikaner, she was posted in Jaipur after finishing, and then I would go to Udaipur, she will go to Ajmer, and we kept on, we were always away from each other. Of course, in Rajasthan, we were able to manipulate and try to, but finally, I ended up in Jaipur and she ended up in Bikaner, and we could not be at the same place. That is what really started what we call as a blessing in disguise. For 4 years, from 1967 to 1969, we were rarely together except for 1 year. So we said, what is the use of, and I had passed my ECFMG examination in 1964. Went to my professor, he says, you must be crazy, why you want to go to America? You are topper here, you will become, member of the medical staff and eventually rise here. There is no reason for you to go there. Just continue your MD here. So retrospectively, I think, if some retrospective, if I had come to this country in 1964, it was much better. Because my MD post-graduation there, my 4 years of practice there, they're worth. I learned a lot about the practice of medicine, but I had to repeat everything here. I came in 1970, went through the 3 years of medical residency, 2 years of cardiology fellowship, and then started practice in 1974. She came in 1970 to fulfill her desire and aim and dream. She went through entire training of pediatrics, starting from internship. 1 year of internship, 3 years of pediatric training, and then 1 year of pediatric endocrinology. Then time came, we had to make a decision. We went to several places. We went to a town near Chicago, and one of the general practitioner or family practitioner made a remark that, lady, if you're going to be sorry, no patient will ever come to you. So subsequently she says, I'm never coming to this town. I said, okay. Then we went to see a place in upstate New York. In the month of July, there was mounds of snow. She said, no, I'm not coming here. I said, listen, if you don't like anything, to make the story brief, both our children were in India, but we could not go through this hardship and training. So I said, you go back to India, get the attachment to you. So she went to India for 6 months. And in the meantime, I am the person, I like anything. I said, that's it. So we were in New York, came to Salisbury, Maryland, which is a small town. That time population was 14,000, but the hospital was very good. 400-bedded hospital, good cardiology program, open heart surgery. So we were next to Hopkins, only about 100 miles from Hopkins, Washington DC and Philadelphia. So I said, this is a good place. So I joined even without telling her. I said, I'm joining in Salisbury, Maryland, as and when you want to come, join me. She came back, brought my son. Of course, daughter was with us. And here comes the most difficult, very interesting part. I was very happy because I got the hospital, what I wanted to do. But now she has to look for a job. So there was a group of 5 pediatricians. One of the pediatrician, local person, was unhappy in the group. As soon as he came to know that my wife is a pediatrician and she is board certified, he approached her. You join me, both of us will start practice. That is how she started practice there. She will come home. I saw only 4 patients, but the other doctor saw 20 patients. I said, please take your time. It will get better. After a few months, she was seeing more patients than the local person who has been practicing there. So now he is unhappy. Please, you are seeing more patients. So what's the problem? Problem is the income is related to your, expenses minus income minus expenses take home. So her take home will be more because she is seeing more. So she said, listen, Dr. Collins, let's make it 50-50%. Whether you saw more patients, I saw more patients, don't worry about it. And then onwards, of course, it's a long story. But in 2000, she was not feeling well. Seeing 30-40 patients in the office, some of them kicking you, some of hitting you. She came home, children, small children. She would come home and cry. She was not really doing well. So she said, can I stop? I said, right now, go ahead. So in 2000, she stopped, but we continued my practice in cardiology in Salisbury, Maryland till 2005. That time I moved to Asheville, 8 years practice there. Then there was an opportunity to start a new cardiac cath lab in Las Vegas. Nellis Air Force Hospital. Nellis Air Force Hospital. So I went there to start a new cardiology lab, cardiac cath lab, and do the angioplasties without open heart surgery. And I worked for about 2 years. And then we both decided, I think this is time to quit. So we went to San Francisco, where my son is a lawyer, and both of us stayed there. He was blessed with twin, boy and a girl, so we helped them. After 4 or 5 years, I said, I can't live in San Francisco, it's too big. Because I'm a small town guy, born and raised in Buccaneer, then practiced in Salisbury, Maryland, and San Francisco is very good to visit, but not for living. Everything very expensive. Your mobility is totally unpredictable. 10 minutes can take 2 hours if there is bumper to bumper traffic. So finally we had 3 choices. Go back to Salisbury, and I refuse. I will not go back to Salisbury. Stay in Asheville, which is a beautiful place. We built a brand new house right on the lake, beautiful, but there was no socialization. So So we used to come here. My younger brother is married to her younger sister. So we thought this is the best place for us to. So we bought this house, moved here, and then I'm working at People's Medical Care, and she's taking of my care, and I also take care of her.
No, it's just I moved here because of my sister, and I have friends, like a lot of friends, and I love this place. That's what I do now. No, not any more activity. Health doesn't allow, so mostly that's.
She has some balance problems, so her mobility is very much restricted with frequent falls. So I don't allow her to go alone. I will take her wherever she wants to go and help her. And in the end, I like to add, I met Dr. Kataria 5 years ago. We became so close. We shared everything from our childhood. We will talk to each other every night between 9 and 10. He will call me and we will. And I was very upset when I came to know there was a sudden death. He left. Of course, I go to temple, we participate in HSNC, and I enjoy participating in DocNC. And I had one girl, one boy, and Arman was so Arman used to come to me, and I hope I was able to make him interested in medical field. So I am still hoping that Arman will become a doctor. My children did not like to become doctor. My grandchildren, 2 girls, one is IT, whatever, working for a firm in Dallas, Texas. The other one is senior in high school. And my 2 grandchildren from my son are only 9-year-old. So future will tell. But I tell my granddaughter every time, you have to become a doctor. And I tell her, you have to become an eye doctor, so you don't get night calls. We had very, very frequent night calls. Just to add little spice, sometimes we will be on call for 80 hours in a row. I will go to hospital Friday morning, stay in hospital Friday night, stay in hospital Saturday night, Sunday night, come home Monday evening. Of course, now there is no more anything like that. So I tell my granddaughter, either become an eye doctor or become a dermatologist. Let us hope something
I
like
know
that
she
happens.
won't become a doctor, I know for sure. Because she's not interested in medicine. 10-year-old, I can tell you that no, she doesn't listen to any medicine. So she will become, and I told my but I do not know what he wants. I told everybody, become whatever you want to become the best.
So, Auntie, did you face any criticism when you decided to start following your specific path?
Which way?
So, when you decided to become that specific medical field.
Okay, the ladies was hard to, we have a specific community system, I was Agarwal, and that was a conservative family. The ladies were not allowed to go to school, the higher education, and my father wanted to send me to higher education, so everybody said, why you are sending the girls to go to the college, there is no need. And so my father took all the criticism from the family and he sent me to the medical school. The only one promise I have to make him, that I will never bring him the bad name. Bad name means nobody can say that that's their daughter is doing something wrong. And that was the only promise I have to make to him to fulfill his dream. But otherwise no criticism, because there was father taking care of all that.
So what challenges did you face that other male students may not have faced?
Male student, okay, they are supposed to study, so they are welcome to go to college, and In the college you feel, you're pressured by the other students, but otherwise not a big deal. You're going to the co-ed school, and I didn't face any problems, so I won't tell you very much more. I was just a girl that goes to college and comes back to the so there was nothing like I cannot tell you that I faced any problems. So if you keep your path straight, you are fine, all right.
So, what do you miss about India, and how do you still connect with your family and friends?
Okay, I missed a lot of my India because you miss the parents. Parents were there before. Now they are passed away. So just the friends and the sister and brothers are there. But you miss the whole thing. It's not the family only, but you miss the whole thing. And cannot fulfill that dream again. You have to be here now. Because my kids are here, grandkids are here. So, but you always miss home. So, that's what it is.
हम लोग भी हमेशा इंडिया जाते हैं अपने दादा दादी को देखने, नाना नानी से मिलने, ताकि फिर हम लोग भी
उनकी इमेज याद रख सको.
याद रख सके, उनकी बात सुने, हम लोग उनसे सीखे कि क्या क्या होता है.
That's right. What happens that my kids' grandparents are both dead now. But when they were young, we used to go every 2 years to see them. And my son went to Peace Corps and he spent some time with the grandparents. And then they visited us few times, so they had a good relation, memories. So that's all. But I miss India. So, what I miss, I don't know. I miss the culture. I miss the having fun. It's a different type of fun there. So that's what I miss, beta. It will always be. This is like your birth. That's my motherland. Okay. So you miss. You raised 23 years there, and you miss that country. Miss the friends. And you can go anywhere you want to go. No restriction. That's the same thing you feel here. Isn't that right? Yes.
So how did you guys meet each other?
Let us.
No, you tell the story because I was the last year of my medical school, and one day I was told that somebody likes me, and I was not supposed to. I was not interested in marriage because I was the youngest daughter of my father. Oh no, oldest daughter, and with 3 daughters. So I thought I will take care of them all the time. And the rest of the story he can tell that how he met me.
She was a final year student examining a patient. 3-4 students around the bed will see a patient, and I was that time a registrar, which is doing MD post-graduation. So somehow I saw her, I just like first visit, first sight love, but I wanted to make sure, so I sent one of my junior students find out the name and caste. Luckily it happened to be Agarwal. Luckily it happened to be same group of. So what I did is, and I invited her through somebody else, a birthday party which was fake, and she came there, and then onwards we kind of started liking each other. We will go once in a while because I was studying for my post-graduation and she was studying for her final year MBBS, but whenever we got a chance. The one thing which we did, which you people have no idea. I informed my parents and she informed her parents. So both the parents met and it was okay from everybody. And the rest of the story is little interesting. She did her final MBBS, I did my MD. I joined the government of Rajasthan as a quote-unquote assistant professor in medicine. And she of course wanted to become a pediatrician. Became a pathologist because my mother and of course we all wanted to be at the same place. Unfortunately, it did not work out. She will be in Jaipur, I will be somewhere else. And of course, I had passed that exam. So I wrote somebody here that he says, come over, don't waste your time there. That's how we ended up here. I came alone because I had a daughter, was like year and a half. Year and a half, and my son was only 5 months old. So I used to miss them, but somehow new place, new style of medicine, and studying again the same subject which you have already mastered, but it was okay. So I wrote her that forget about everything, come over here and join me. Because you miss initially period, there you were like a lord, you entered the ward, two people run and give you a towel, wash their hand, go and see a patient, and patient is like, but here I was at the bottom, so I was like a first year resident, so you have to go and see the patient. And the worst thing which I did not like, every morning they will give me 20-25 tubes for collecting the blood. Moment you enter the ward, they say, here comes the blood sucker. But you have no choice. Some good hospitals have a phlebotomist who will draw the blood. So doctors don't have to. But as a first year resident, you become phlebotomist for a while. And then you see the patient and everything else. Of course, there were some bumps. Finish the medicine, finish the cardiology, finish the medical board, cardiology board, and then started practicing in Salisbury, Maryland in 1974.
Very nice, Uncle. What are some values that you live by and do not compromise on?
Me, I will see the patient and provide the best medical care irrespective of whether patient can pay, whether he has insurance. In my practice, I can recall at least 20% patients never paid us anything, but that was not the point, not providing, no compromise there. I will see the patient, provide my best possible medical care, whether I get paid or not. With God's grace, remaining 80% is enough.
How about you?
Oh, become anything you want to become, but become the best. And do your best and be honest. Whatever you have in the relationship, be honest. With the friends, the family, with anybody, just be honest and become the good person. You can follow your profession, whatever you like. If you don't want to be doctor, don't become doctor. Because you become engineer, but then you do best in your whatever you do. And that's what my message for my future kids, that do the best what you can do and be honest with the parents, respect them, and sometimes you don't like your parents, what they say. You really hate them. But just listen to them. They might be wrong, okay? Don't believe that we are always right. But they mean best for you. So listen to your parents and then decide what you want to do. Don't just say, oh, they are crazy, they are the old people, okay? But your parents would like to be best for you all, and they want to be, they might be wrong, just discuss with them. That's what I did with my father. I used to discuss the things with, when I got, he met me and I wanted to talk to him. I talked to my father. So I think if you have any problems with your problems, sit down. They would like to listen to you. They might contradict you, okay? Like, we are Indians, like, we just come out, okay? But do listen to them, and then, discuss them. Okay, I don't like this thing, and I want to do that. But do discuss with them, don't shut them out. And that's what my message for my grandkids too. Be good kids, do whatever you want to do, but just listen to your parents too. And that's what you have to do with them. Because everything that whatever we say is not right. It's not going to be ever right. But by discussion, you can come out to the conclusion what we can compromise there. So just follow your path. Whatever you do your best, And then in the life, there will be so many turns in the life. But just do best. In studies, in the social work, whatever you are doing it, just do your best. And that was my message for the kids anywhere, grandkids, and that's what I did my practice too. So just follow. You don't like the parents what they say, but just follow them.
Thank you, Auntie. Those were some great words of wisdom.
My last statement is, aim high, dream high, you can achieve it. For example, I did it, you all can do it. So don't hesitate. Aim high irrespective of the results. Dream high. For example, I wanted to become a cardiologist. I will go through a lot of on-call, a lot of hard work, but you can achieve it. So there is nothing on this earth which you can't do it. And if anybody else can do it, you can do it. That is the main aim. That's my last message. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.